Hey everybody, I am Michaela and I am here to review A Mad Zombie Party by Gina Showalter, which is the fourth and final installment in the White Rabbit Chronicles. When the story opens up, Frosty is a broken man. He's getting drunk every single night and sleeping with girls who vaguely resemble Kat, who passed away at the end of the last book. Kat herself is now a witness and appears to Frosty, telling him that he needs to link up with Camilla Marks, who is River's sister, the gang of rival slayers leader from the last book, and you might remember that she also tried to sell out everyone and give Ali to Anima in hopes of saving her brother. Frosty is very reluctant to have any sort of contact with Camilla because it was her actions that ultimately led to Kat's death in the last book. Camilla herself is a very damaged character whose background really shaped the decisions that she made, and she also feels that she might not even be worthy of the redemption that could possibly come to her with helping Frosty. On top of everything else, Anima isn't quite finished, and there is a very real chance that they can rise again to wreak some serious havoc on both groups of slayers. I think that this is definitely a very good ending to this by Gina Showalter. Everything fits together perfectly. The characters stay really true to themselves. All of their decisions are exactly what would have been made in the last book. I did have a couple of issues with it, but I'm going to be talking about that in the spoiler section. So if you have read the book and you want to hear about that, stick around, and if not, I really hope that you pick this one up. I hope that you enjoyed the review, and I will see you again soon. If you've watched my last 3 reviews, you know the first thing I'm going to be saying. Where was Mackenzie? I love Mackenzie. I will never stop loving Mackenzie. Her name wasn't even mentioned until page 80 on my iPad, like I counted, and then on page 103 is when we finally saw her, and it wasn't even enough. Okay, but for real, did this book need to happen? Yes, it did. Was I completely satisfied with it? No, I wasn't. I'm just going to get into the points about that now, so please don't shoot me, and maybe you had the same issues with it as well. This is going to be nowhere near as epic as any other rants that I've done on books, because I absolutely love this series. And like I said, Gina Showalter she stayed so true to the characters. It was amazing. She's really been able to keep that really continuous flow of witty banter, as well as making them gross. They're still fundamentally like the same person, but they're more mature. What I wasn't digging is, because this is the spoiler section, so we've all read it, we all know what happens, Kat's change as a character. That was really weird to me, because she was willing to let Camilla die. I know that Kat sometimes, she had like that vengeful streak, but not necessarily to the point where she would just let someone die. And the whole deal with the higher ups in the court of the witnesses and stuff, I felt like that was really shady, because obviously up is heaven and that's where she's at, and she was petitioning for Camilla to die, and then when Camilla actually did die and she just shoved her back out, it was really strange. Like, it was a very convenient thing, and I know that it obviously needed to be a plot point and happen, but I didn't really like how Kat had just gone completely mental like that. It was a weird thing for me to see her do that. I really liked learning more about the witnesses, because it is a very curious thing. I mean, we'd seen Emma popping in and out, and then that random Helen bit who wasn't in this book at all, like we just heard that she was kind of higher up. But the fact that they basically spend their eternity as lawyers, like if you've ever been to court, you know that you do not want to be spending eternity arguing with people about stuff. I would just be like, I'm going to the final rest, it's all good, man, like I've got nothing to argue about. As for the big bad in this series as a whole, I wasn't exactly convinced. Like when we had Rebecca and they're like, oh, Rebecca, you know, like her ultimate goal is to live forever. Like that's all she wanted. I liked the idea of more like a whole corporation trying to harness that evil and do stuff, because there was always the threat of Anima, and then zombies as well were a bad thing, but it just sort of missed the mark for me a little bit in that respect. But I'm not, like, in this series, I'm not expecting really hardcore ridiculous bad guys. The feelings between Frosty and Camilla, I liked it. At no point did I think this is moving too quickly. Like, I feel like they were both very guarded people. Camilla more than anything, because we find out about her past, but it was just this nice flow, like a very organic coming together sort of thing. I was very convinced by their love story by the end of it, until we got to the epilogue. I hated it. I hated that. This book for me, I gave it a 3 stars on Goodreads. I was like, it was a good ending, everyone got happy. That fucking epilogue put it down to like a 1 star, so I was like, it's a 3 star, it's halfway. Like a 10-year time jump, so we've got the letters from Ali and Cole, then from Camilla and Frosty, and then finally from Kat. When we've got Ali and she's like, oh yeah, you know, so zombies come from how you live your life. When she's saying that, it comes from evil, and as long as there's evil, there's always going to be slayers. But I think that it's like it's 99% done because now they've all got kids. When she says that Bronx and Reeve have a kid now and the delivery nearly killed Reeve, so they're just going to adopt, I was like, they died! All of their kids have special abilities as well, so they're going to be zombie fighters. So I'm thinking, like, if she gets really, really desperate, she can always do a book with the kids. And then we get to Kat's letter, and she's talking about how she's like, oh yeah, I'm really glad that, you know, Camilla and Frosty are together, and I think that River's hot. What the fuck? Part of the reason why Kat says that Frosty needs to move on, she says that even in life they wouldn't have had a happily ever after because she was always too worried about Frosty fighting and stuff like that. River does exactly the same thing. What are you talking about, bitch? Okay. Overall, I love this series so much. I'm actually filming this on like the 18th of September or something. It had just come out in Australia and I was like, I need the ebook of this. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this book, if you thought it was just amazing, because I did, but at the same time it was problematic. It's really, like, it's a very hard thing for me to talk about. I don't know. I just know that I love this. I just know that I love this series overall. The series is like a 4.5 out of 5 overall for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a really, really great day. Bye!